Freddie Mercury did not grow up dreaming of being famous. Born as Farrokh Bulsara in 1946 in Zanzibar, his early life was defined by displacement, silence, and observation. His family belonged to a small Parsi community, and from an early age, Freddie learned how to exist without drawing attention. He watched, he listened, and he absorbed everything around him. As a child sent to boarding school in India, Freddie was isolated from his family for years. Letters replaced voices. Distance replaced comfort. Classmates later remembered him as quiet, polite, and deeply introspective. But something changed when music entered the room. When Freddie played piano or sang, he became someone else entirely. Confident, precise, alive. Freddie is just back when the power should begin on as a district from his talent. Early, he was trained formally in piano and music theory. This foundation would later separate Freddie Mercury from most rock frontmen of his generation. He wasn't improvising blindly. He understood structure, harmony, timing. Music was not instinct alone. It was discipline. When Freddie moved to England in his late teens, his life reset completely. He was a refugee of political instability in Zanzibar, arriving in a country where he felt foreign, uncertain, and unseen. This is when reinvention began. Farrokh became Freddie. Bulsara became Mercury. Identity became performance. Freddie Mercury was deeply insecure about the short in the appearance. His teeth, in particular, became a lifelong anxiety. Dentists advised correction, but Freddie refused. He believed altering his teeth could affect his vocal range. Whether medically necessary or not, this fear shaped a decision he never reversed. His voice mattered more than comfort. Queen's early years were marked by rejection. Record labels dismissed them as excessive. Critics mocked their theatricality. Freddie's vision was considered too dramatic, too strange, too ambitious. But Freddie refused to simplify. He believed music should overwhelm, not explain itself. In the studio, Freddie Mercury was obsessive. He recorded vocals layer by layer, often singing short phrases repeatedly to preserve his strength. Producers later confirmed that some tracks contained dozens of vocal layers, all meticulously controlled. This wasn't chaos, it was calculation. This obsession reached its peak with Bohemian Rhapsody. The song broke every rule of commercial music at the time. No chorus, multiple sections, operatic harmonies. When the band played it for executives, they were warned it would never be played on radio. Freddie responded with indifference. He already knew. Freddie didn't care if Bohemian Rhapsody succeeded commercially. He cared that it existed exactly as he imagined it. This philosophy defined his career. He measured success by artistic truth, not approval. Ironically, the song became one of the most successful recordings in history. Fame changed Freddie's life, but not in the way people assume. The stage gave him control. Offstage, he often felt lost. Friends later described intense mood swings, periods of extreme social activity followed by long isolation. Freddie could fill stadiums, yet feel alone in quiet rooms. By the early 1980s, Freddie Mercury was living under constant pressure. Touring was physically exhausting, studio work was relentless, and the media's obsession with his private life intensified. Freddie responded by separating his identities completely: performer on stage, silence offstage. In the mid-1980s, Freddie received his HIV diagnosis. At the time, AIDS was almost universally associated with fear, death, and stigma. Public figures diagnosed with the virus were often reduced to headlines and speculation. Freddie made a deliberate choice. He told almost no one. This decision was not denial, it was control. Freddie wanted to live on his own terms. He did not want pity. He did not want public mourning while he was still alive. He wanted to work. As his health declined, Freddie's determination intensified. Producers and band members later confirmed that Freddie insisted on recording whenever he felt physically capable. Sometimes he was visibly ill. Sometimes he could barely stand. Yet his vocal performances remained shockingly powerful. During these sessions, she was monthed later them, but Freddie's later gave a clear instruction. He told the band to keep recording instrumental tracks. He said he would sing as long as his voice allowed it. What happened next would become legendary. Freddie Mercury was made projected, so she believed in less with general life. Started in the world was locally become an end of this problem. Once of the point included his neighbor Vokes that martyred her 20s would be administry. Recorded vocals knowing he would never hear the final versions. Songs like These Are the Days of Our Lives and Mother Love were recorded under extreme physical decline. On Mother Love, Freddie was unable to finish the final verse. It was later completed by Brian May. This is documented fact. Freddie never complained publicly. He never explained himself. He continued appearing in music videos, often filmed carefully to conceal physical deterioration. Makeup, lighting, and framing were used deliberately, not to deceive, but to preserve dignity. On November 19, as never introduced Shipped or My Life that martyred her to send $16,000, Freddie Mercury released a brief public statement confirming he had AIDS. It was the first and last time he spoke openly about his illness. Less than 24 hours later, he was dead. Freddie Mercury died at the age of 45 from bronchial pneumonia caused by AIDS-related complications. The world reacted with shock, but those closest to him understood something different. Freddie had chosen exactly how his story would end. He did not want a prolonged public decline. He did not want speculation. He wanted silence, followed by music. Today, Freddie Mercury is remembered as a symbol of freedom, excess, and power. But behind the legend was a man who lived with fear, hid his suffering, and transformed pain into art. She said, "The Freddie Mercury did not conquer death, but he denied it control. He left behind a body of work recorded under impossible circumstances, and when his voice finally disappeared, it became immortal."